A couple of things, and this is late breaking news. We're members, continue to be members of the California Special Districts Association. A very good organization to be a member of, and anyway, I think it was just yesterday, I don't know, Pete, if you saw this, but anyway, there was a court case that went actually in favor of the district where they were charging a flat charge to customers for drought-related expenses. Anyway, the case was ruled in favor of the district, so that's good news. You might want to check into that further.
Yeah, that wasn't Dunsmuir, was it? Anyway, yeah, I saw the.
A very good, to monitor that feed they put out is really a good source of information. As far as the first part is the manager's discussion analysis, that's pretty straightforward. It's kind of a summary of the statements and so forth. And then our auditor's report on page 5 and 6, unqualified opinion. And so that is good. Page 7 is the statement of net position. On page 7, here's where that Csda 68 and 75 come into play. Down about just above mid-page or below mid-page there where it says net PPOV. Liability should be net OPEV liability, but that and the net pension liability, note 4 and note 5. Well, the note 4 and note 5 refers to the notes to the financial statements that are further on. These amounts are from the actuarial valuation that the district had recently. Those valuations were in draft form, so if there's any change from the final format, then let me know. I don't think there will be, but if there is, then we can update the audit report accordingly. The big change in actually the net pension liability, one of the reasons that increased by quite a bit is because the discount rate was lowered from like 7.65 to 7.15%. So because of the way they do the calculation, that caused the liability to go up. Just that one factor. So we got the construction in progress account, which is an asset account further up on the page at 459.
What page are you on?
This is still on page 7. And Pete, I mentioned and I forwarded your information to Ever's office about making the adjustment for the completed projects.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to do that effective July 1 of 18. So,
Okay.
yeah, so that's already in the works. And so Ever's going to take care of that. Obviously, then the depreciation would start in this new fiscal year. So he's on board with that, and that's in the works. Page 8 is the statement of activities and changes in that position. That's the equivalent of the income statement from a business enterprise. Shows the revenues, expenses. Anyway, one of the things I wanted to point out, a couple of things I want to point out on this particular statement. First of all, depreciation about mid-page at 195, 538. Well, last year I mentioned the depreciation was going to go up. And it has. It's gone up from 163 to 195. And that's going to continue to go up. And so that's going to increase the depreciation expense. As projects are completed, they start to be depreciated. That throws more expense onto the statement. Well, why is that important? Because you want to be able to have a net income, a profit.
And a way of reimbursing our costs.
A way of covering your costs, that's right. And actually you want really to be more than just break even, because when you start, you need to be able to build a capital fund and be able to pay for the capital projects in the future. Well, they're going to cost more in the future, so you got to charge more now in order to do that. You need to be able to build a capital fund and be able to pay for the capital projects in the future. Well, they're going to cost more in the future, so you got to charge more now in order to do that. So you got to charge more now in order to do that. Well, the case I just mentioned earlier might give you a way to increase your income, which is very important. So you got to charge more now in order to do that. Well, the case I just mentioned earlier might give you a way to increase your income, which is very important. So you got to charge more now in order to do that. Well, the case I just mentioned earlier might give you a way to increase your income, which is very important. And hopefully under this midline where it says operating income loss, instead of brackets being a loss, you want that to be an income. So that's one of the overall goals. And of course, the net change in net position down towards the bottom there, which is 230. Well, the reason it's a positive number is because it's grant income. And yes, it's good to have a grant income. It helps pay for the projects, but what you really want a net operating income for your charges to cover your expenses, and then some.
Can I ask a quick question? How much money should a district of this size have in reserve?
Well,
Cash reserves. I mean, we were told to get $1 million when we were almost bankrupt. We got that, but we really didn't have like a reserve of like $5 million or $2 million. Just what should we have?
because capital projects are so expensive, yet I don't think you can have too much in the way of a reserve. From just a general operating standpoint, I think the state controller's office recommends 5-6 months of just for operating type expenses, not capital improvements. But your biggest future costs are going to be capital improvement, replacement, and it's going to be very expensive. Your biggest future costs are going to be capital improvement, replacement, and it's going to be very expensive. And so you can't have too much in the way of capital improvement, money set aside.
Okay.
And
So we don't have enough. That's a nice way to start.
yeah.
Okay. I figured.
Page 9 is the statement of cash flows. That tells you how cash has changed during the year. And the good news is there was an increase in the net cash position. It went from 773 to 964, and now that's as of June 30th of 18. Page 10 starts the notes to the financial statements. That's pretty much standard information. So page 13 is a breakdown of the cash as of June 30th. And about the only new item here, and there's also detailed notes as far as capital asset additions and so forth on page 17. A detailed long-term debt on page 18. A little more information on long-term debt, page 19. And then and also on the bottom of page 19 is some detailed information about GASB 75, which came into effect. And it continues on page 20, 21, and then on 22 starts the detailed note regarding pension liability. And that's standard required note disclosures for those liabilities. And that continues on through page 26. Page 27 is our report on internal control. No issues there. Continues to be pretty much as it has been. And I think that covers most of the items that I needed to cover. Any questions?
I guess this was online, because my wife looked at this as a really good audit. You're talking to somebody with 30 years financial experience, special district, $35 million budget, $16 million in reserve, 300 employees. And she tells me this is good, it must be good. This is my, as accountant, I think this is the 11th year that I've seen these kind of audits. And she said it's a good audit, it must be a good audit. Cindy and Pete, thank you, because you guys are really responsible. You guys did a good job, thank you.
So you're suggesting that we need more income, and because there's not much we can do on the expense side in the day-to-day operations that cut down on water losses, so that cuts down on paying for water and electricity and some labor. So primarily, whatever we can do internally to reduce expenses, so that would be losses, and possibly try and increase the income.
That's right, yeah.